The topic of today's lecture is the distinction between two phonological concepts, phonemes and allophones. We have three objectives: to define and exemplify the concept of the phoneme, to define and exemplify the concept of an allophone, and to demonstrate the language-specific nature of phonemes and allophones. Let's begin with phonemes. First of all, a phoneme is a mental representation of a sound we have, as distinct from other sounds. For example, we think of d and d as distinct sounds different from one another, and we have an idea of what counts as a t sound and what counts as a d sound. As distinct sounds, phonemes have the potential to contribute to word meanings, even though they do not possess meanings themselves. To continue our example, t and d do not have a meaning in and of themselves, but they contribute to the distinction between such words as tuck, as in tuck your shirt, and duck, as in look at that cute duck in the pond. While our mental representations do include ideas about articulation, it is important to remember that a phoneme is what we think we say here, not what we actually do say and hear. Phonemes are contrastive. By that we mean that they occur in overlapping environments, but we perceive them as different sounds. We touched upon contrastive and non-contrastive environments in the previous lecture, and we will return to the concept a little later in this one. One important feature of phonemes is that in actual production, they do not necessarily sound the same, although our brain perceives them as the same. Let's consider the phoneme t. It sounds a little different in words like city, tape, kitten, tree, and scent. But we hear all of these different versions as the t sound. That is, we perceive them as the phoneme t. One way we can exemplify what contrasting environments mean for phonemes is to look at minimal pairs. Let's look at the words tree and free. These two words each contain the exact same number of sounds, and the sounds occur in the same order. The only difference is the first sound. The word tree begins with the t sound, and the word free begins with the f sound. So the environments of the sounds t and f overlap. Both occur at the beginning of the word immediately before the syllable re. But the meanings of the resulting words are different. In other words, contrasting. A tree is a type of a plant, and free is an adjective meaning unencumbered or not requiring payment. Such pairs of words are called minimal pairs. A minimal pair is defined as two words that have the exact same number of sounds in the exact same order, but with one sound differing between them. This sound has to be in the same position in both words. It has to be preceded and followed by the same sounds. But the resulting words must have different meanings. We call these meanings contrastive, even though they do not have to be the opposite of one another, just different. The contrasting sound in minimal pairs does not have to be at the beginning. It can be, like in pairs bed and said, paid and bait, up and up, seed or feed. But it can also be in the middle, as in pirate and pilot, bed and bud, kissing and casing, plot or pleat. Or it can be at the end, as in the words tent and tend, beak and beep, boss and bought, or kin and king. Note that the spelling of the words, as we would use them in writing, doesn't matter. For two words to be a minimal pair, they have to have identical sound strings, except for one sound, not identical letters. This completes our part 1 of the lecture.